John, this is the time of the year when things start to heat up. Everybody plays at playoff pace. And believe me, it does change, and there's something about it. When you get to this part of the year, it starts to be a lot more fun.
And it's a great atmosphere here. And, you know, as you say, it's getting on playoff time, and these games are so meaningful. And you have the hometown Colts with 9 in a row wins, and you really got some stuff going here that's pretty doggone good.
Conway kicks it off to Wilkins. Wilkins takes it in full stride and heads for the outside. The Redskins are down him at about the 26th. Wilkins goes out wide to the right.
And they're going to throw a screen pass to him in the first play.
Here it comes. And Wilkins up to about the 36-yard line.
Not a bad way to start.
No.
You know, he is a playmaker, and you get the ball in a playmaker's hands.
Second and short. James gets a Colt first down. Greg Jones made the stop.
Yeah, it was interesting. I was talking to Edgerrin James down on the field before the game, and Marcus Allen was there too, and we were having a discussion about slow starts.
Yeah.
And Marcus was saying that, you know, really all running backs start slow because the defenses are a little quicker early in the game, and you have to be patient. You can't get discouraged. And Edgerrin James has been getting a little discouraged early in games.
First and 10, Manning back to throw it. Pollard out of bounds, knocked out deep in Redskin territory.
I tell you, that all worked by the play-action pass again, where Peyton Manning is going to fake a run, and then you get Marcus Pollard, who is a lot like a wide receiver playing tight end. Remember, he was a basketball player in college. You get him on a linebacker, that's what you're looking for. But watch how it all started. Watch the play fake here. Great fake by Peyton Manning, great fake by Edgerrin James, then a little bootleg, and then throwing across the field to Marcus Pollard.
Covered by the linebacker, Greg Jones, as you said.
And Greg Jones is going to lose that battle.
Every day. Manning to James. Out of bounds at about the 20 by Evans, and there's a flag on the play. This has got to be a face mask.
And in fact, there were 2 flags right thrown at the same position. And this Edgerrin James is really something. I mean, the way he runs with the ball and blocks and catches, and in his first year, in fact, he should be a senior in college.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 35, 15-yard penalty, first down.
Evans called for this face mask violation.
Well, that's the first thing Edgerrin James does. He has the ball in his right hand. Now you want to get it in the outside hand. You see him switch it to the left hand, and there's the face mask right there.
You were talking a minute ago about the defense and Marcus Allen, the conversation you had with him, and slow starts and all that. Why doesn't the back slow down too, like the defense does?
Yeah, I don't know, because I think the back, you know, by the time he gets a little tired, he has a better feel for it.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely right. James again. Fumble, and the Redskins, I believe, have it inbound.
Yep, they do. They're marking it right there. That's one of the things the last time we saw the Colts, Edgerrin James fumble.
Yep.
And the week before the last time we saw him, he fumbled.
There's a question whether they recovered inbounds or not.
Well,
at least there is to me.
The officials started to mark it right there, you know, that they did recover it inbounds, but no one has pointed the other way for the Redskins yet either.
The ball was recovered with the defender's arm out of bounds. Therefore, it was a fumble forward out of bounds. Returns to the spot of the foul. It's Indianapolis ball. Second down.
Well, here it is.
You see, again, he's going to do the right thing by changing hands, getting in it in the outside hand. Then he cuts back. Then he has to put it away, and he's stripped from behind. Now, what they say here is that when you see his hand is right there. Is what they're saying is that his hand was out of bounds when he recovered the ball.
Right. That was Evans. Leomont Evans. Second down.
You got Pollard out here, and they like that.
Manning up the middle. Fumble. The ball's loose again, and the Redskins have it. Darrell Green picked it up. And let's see whether or not he was down or if it's the Redskin ball. They'll change, no question about it.
That's a Redskin ball, yeah. Marvin Harrison had that ball. Came underneath. That was one of the plays we saw the other day on Friday that they were working on. You see, he lines up short, then he comes underneath. The ball is perfectly thrown. Harrison catches it, and the ball is just stripped out right there. And then who ends up with it? Darrell Green.
Darrell Green. Matt Stevens stripped it loose. Back in Indianapolis. Merry Christmas. And the Christmas spirit is here. The Redskins feel a little of it now as Davis gets out to the 10. And Brad Johnson, of course. He's been quite an addition.
What the Redskins like to do is show you something, then shift to another formation.
Down goes Johnson. The blitz coming. That was Bratsky, however, who got there.
Now, Chad Bratsky right there has been a great addition.
Yeah.
He just took a very quick inside move on Andy Heck. See, he just splits that thing. And when you take an inside move on a tackle, once you get by him, you're right on the quarterback.
3 wide receivers. They give the ball to Davis. Who gets out? That's Brian Mitchell, not Davis, the third down back.
Well, one of the things that Norv Turner was talking about is he wanted to pound it at him today. He wanted to be able to stay with the run. But you can see there he starts off with poor field position, and then he gets a sack, and then you can't start with those things that you want to do.
Matt Turk standing back in his own end zone. Wilkins back deep for the Colts.
The other thing, I think Norv Turner probably knows that his defense can't stop this offense.
This ball off the inside of Turk's foot, but pretty effective nevertheless. First down, Indianapolis. First quarter in Indianapolis, 0-0. 10:03 left, first quarter. Indianapolis and Washington, two first-place teams. The Colts playing for home field advantage throughout the playoffs. The Redskins trying to hang on to their lead in the NFC.
You hear Peyton Manning said, watch him.
Yeah. Well, he was right. Watch him. He just does barely get rid of it, intended for Pollard.
You know, the triplets really haven't gotten off to a good start. You know, they're moving the ball, but first here, one of the triplets, Edgerrin James, he fumbles, but luckily the ball was recovered out of bounds, and then they strip Marvin Harrison again, and then the Redskins get the ball. So 2 out of the 3 triplets had a little bad start there with that fumbling deal, huh?
2nd and 10. It was good defensive plays by the Redskins to break the ball loose.
That one on Marvin Harrison, that was Matt Stevens who came in and stripped him.
Here's Manning to James to midfield.
James is one of those guys that is built to be a power runner. I mean, if you just look at him, he has a pretty strong upper body, but he has a very strong lower body, and he always runs low. He never gets up high, but he's built to run low. I mean, once he gets bent over and gets that ball, he stays bent over. And I'll tell you, a guy bent over that has good speed is very, very powerful.
E.G. Green in the game for the Colts as Manning goes in the shotgun this time. Showing blitz. Picked up. Pass complete. To E.G. Green, number 84. He and Wilkins alternate, but they like Wilkins in the game all the time.
Well, E.G. Green was the starter, and then he hurt his knee, then he came back, and Wilkins was playing so well, they let E.G. Green start one game, And then they missed Wilkins. So they put Wilkins back in because he has speed and he's a playmaker. E.G. Green is just the third wide receiver now.
First down. James behind the line. Lost a little. Anthony Cook first to hit him.
Jeff Saturday is in there now at guard, and what he's trying to do is Saturday pulls. He's trying to get in there behind him. See 63? When he pulls, he's trying to get in there behind him, but what happens is he gets caught before he ever gets there.
2nd and 11.
He had a pretty good hole inside, but he couldn't get to it.
Intended.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. Harrison has great speed, and Peyton Manning does not worry about double coverage. You watch this. Here's Harrison out here. He's being double covered. You see, he's going to be inside out. See that? He just split the double coverage, runs right through him, right by him. Peyton Manning sees it, is not afraid to throw into double coverage if it's Marvin Harrison. He just threw that one a little too deep, but Peyton Manning said with the speed of these two corners, that was Champ Bailey on that one, but he and Darrell Green, he says he knows that he has to throw the ball long.
They operate with 3 wide receivers out of the shotgun. They're showing blitz of the Redskins. They don't bring it. Manning chase. Gets it upfield out of bounds. Nobody there. Flag on the play.
And North Turner, he has Kalu's hand there. He's telling him, you stay back here. Whatever is going to be called is going to be called. Now, one thing, Peyton Manning was outside the pocket, so you can throw the ball away. He wasn't in the pocket. He was outside the area where the tight ends would be, so it can't be illegal grounding.
Ed Hockley is the referee.
Personal foul, defense, number 90. Hit the quarterback after he was out of bounds. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I'm not sure about that one. You see, he's in bounds. The only thing is he gives them a little push right there, and they have to say it's after he threw the ball. I mean, that really wasn't a hit, but Peyton Manning had thrown the ball. The ball was out of there, and you can still rough the passer.
That's a pretty tough call. 1st and 10. Colts at the Redskin 28. Wilkins comes in motion. Manning gives to James. No place to go. Maybe he does have a place to go. Manning tried to throw a block.
And at least, you know, I mean, he really shouldn't even try and throw that block, but at least he threw it with his left shoulder. It wasn't a good block. It wasn't something you'd say, this is what you do. You don't want your quarterback doing this. You don't like your running back doing it. If you don't find something there, then just try and, you know, pull the thing up in there. But see, Peyton Manning's block was right there. You don't want him doing that, but at least if you're going to do it, don't do it with your passing arm.
It's like if you're a piano player, you don't get in a fist fight.
No, you keep your fist in your pocket.
Oh, Shields. Alongside James in the Colts backfield. Here's Manning. That's going to be well out of bounds. Oh, James, what a catch. Looked like he was going out of bounds. Picked it off one-handed. What a catch.
All Peyton Manning can do is laugh.
Yeah.
He said that was unbelievable. This guy is unbelievable.
Unbelievable. What a catch he made. Looked like it had to be out of bounds.
Look at this. He's running right up the sideline, and he's just going to reach out and catch this with his left hand. He just catches it one-handed, brings it in, puts it in both hands, stays in bounds, and gets across the goal line.
That is amazing.
But still, it was a pretty good throw, too, because Peyton Manning didn't have a lot of room to get that ball in there. Woo!
Vanderjagt extra point is good, and it's 7-0 Indianapolis.
This is some offense.
I'll tell you what, that's some catch. Danny Kite will kick off for the Colts.
The Colts are one of the teams that carry 3 kickers.
There are not many.
And this is all that Danny Kite does is kickoff, so he better get it in the end zone. Nope.
He doesn't. Brian Mitchell. They're coming faking a reverse, and Mitchell's got clear sailing. Mitchell out close to the 40. Tony Blevins made the stop.
Watch this. Before the game, Peyton Manning was out there throwing that exact same play to Edger and James, and he caught it the exact same way. He dropped that one, though.
7-0. The Indianapolis Colts. Peyton Manning has just tied Chris Chandler in touchdown passes in consecutive games. But he's got a long way to go to catch the leader, Johnny Unitas.
You know, this is one thing that is going to be tough here for the Redskins because they don't want to get away from the run. But you can see that they can't stop the passing of the Indianapolis Colts. So at some point, and it's too early now, and I'm not suggesting it now, but at some point you have to get away from the conservative, the run at them, and you have to say, this is going to be a long day. We're going to get in a shootout.
Which is one thing they don't want to do. Davis. Gets about a yard shy of a first down.
You know, when you get on a kickoff team, I mean, stuff is going to happen. Now watch Jenkins. James Jenkins, 1, 2. Now what's the third one there? That's the way you block on a kickoff return.
And you keep blocking.
That's when I was a coach, I used to always tell those guys, hey, you start blocking when the ball is kicked and you don't stop until the whistle blows.
3rd and short. And here's Davis. First down, Redskins. Moves it across the 50 into Indianapolis side of the field.
You see number 77 there, Big Trey Johnson. You know, they love to either run behind him, or if they run to the other side, which would be the left side, they like to pull him this way. But you know, when he's pulling now, you see more and more of this. Guys are beating him to the hole, and he's not having good contact. I mean, it used to be that they would sit there and wait for him, and he is so big, strong, fast, and powerful that now they see him coming and just whap that hole.
Scramble, Dawn still alive. I think the Redskins got it back. It may have been Trey Johnson.
Yep, you can hear the official down there saying Washington, Washington.
Trey is big, as you pointed out, but he's not as big as he used to be, or he has been.
Yeah, the one thing he said, I've always been heavier. I've been a lot heavier, but I've never been slow. And you can see him there. He's heavy, but he's not slow because he gets to the ball.
The heaviest he's ever been, he said last night at the meeting. In football, 354. Out of football, he wouldn't comment.
That was a good hustling play there.
The pass is a throwback to Stephen Alexander, the tight end, who is out of bounds close to the Colt 10. Make it about the 12 by Cornelius Bennett.
That was an interesting thing. What they do is they take the quarterback, Brad Johnson, and they roll him to the right side. So they get the whole defense to come over to the right side. Then they throw a screen back to the left side. You see, they're going to get Johnson coming here and then stopping out here and then throwing the ball back to this position. Now watch Alexander. He goes down like he's blocking. Then he sneaks across behind the line. He went down like he was blocking the defensive end, sneaks across behind the line. Johnson goes the other way. They got the defense of the Colts crisscrossing.
You'll get a dose of Davis here, and he gets down to about the 6.
I think you're going to get a dose of Davis all the way to the goal line.
Yep, I would think so.
And this is a place where you like to say, okay, let me get my big guard and just get him man on man and just get a push in there and get right behind him. That's exactly what he did. He's blocking Larry Chester there. In fact, Chester's from Temple, the same place that Trey Johnson is from.
He sort of spun out of the play.
Yeah, he spun out, but then Trey Johnson went and got him again.
Here's Brad Johnson. Looking at Albert Connell. Michael Westbrook, beg your pardon.
There's what Trey Johnson looks like before you see him on the field. But this is what he does in the locker room reading the book. You do see a lot of red material there, don't you? And you said he's down? This is a big play for the Redskins, you see, because they threw on second down. Now they get to this third. We thought they would give him a heavy dose of Stephen Davis. But now on third down, because they threw on second down,
now they got to throw on third down.
Has to be a throwing down.
Brian Mitchell goes in motion left. Davis under center. Pops it left.
Oh, you can't do that.
Irving Fryer at the 5. You're going to put it in the air, put it in the end zone.
Yeah, if you have to put it in the end zone, or they could have gotten a first down, but you can't do that because you had the field goal anyway.
Yep.
And and that's one that Brad Johnson didn't want to take, and you wonder why you even have him there. I mean, I've always thought that when you have a pattern and you need a first down, everyone that goes out in the pattern goes a distance where if you throw them the ball, they get a first down.
Norv Turner just about, as the team comes off the field, about to ask that same question.
Why'd you throw it to him?
From 23 yards out, Maynard is right down the middle. The Redskins get on the scoreboard, 7-3.
I think to this day, when you talk about tough guys that ever played in the NFL, I didn't see a picture of him there. I think guys that played will still say Doug Atkins, the old Chicago Bear.
Yeah, that would be, you wouldn't go wrong with that. Wilkins outside the 25, about the 28.
That was a message that I just sent to Howie Long there. There's Terry Robisky there talking to
tough guy
Michael Westbrook. Yeah, Terry Robisky was. Terry Robisky played for me with the Oakland Raiders, drafted him out of LSU. And you can see Westbrook talking to his coach Robisky, and then he goes over and talks to Irving Fryer. That's a pretty good experience there.
Stephen Davis, by the way, just set a new Redskins season record, passing Terry Allen for yards gained at 1,353. 23-yard field goal by Conway put the Redskins on the board. Here's Manning for Harrison off his fingertip. That was a strike.
That was the same one that they went for a little earlier. And again, they got Champ Bailey out here. Champ Bailey is playing out here on Harrison, but he has help. You see his help here? But again, Marvin Harrison is so fast and does this so well. He runs right by the help, right by Champ Bailey, and right through a double team.
And that ball's right there.
I mean, they work at that. We showed how Edgerrin James was out working earlier with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning has always worked with Marvin Harrison.
2nd and 10. James spins behind the line and loses one.
They got some penetration there, the Redskins. That's exactly what you want to do, against the running game, is play on their side of the line of scrimmage, not let that running back get his shoulders square. This is the thing. See, here's where you want to play. And you see the penetration? You see they get through there and they get him before he can get started. That was Sean Barber was the first guy in there. He just hit what we call the old 6-hole.
3rd and 11. Out of the spread. Manning has time. That's Harrison coming across.
That's going to be just enough for a first down.
And that's a good throw. And also a good pattern.
When we were talking to Tom Moore, they said that there's two things you can do with speed. You can either go up or you can go across. And if you can't get there up, like on the up in the post, then you run the cross. and he's done both of those things on this drive to Marvin Harrison. Tried to get him on the post, didn't get it, then brought him for third down to pick up a first down on a cross.
Manning, Pollard to the Redskins 45. Derek Smith tripped him up.
Now, this Marcus Pollard is really something. He's in his 5th year now, but he was a guy that went to Bradley, and he didn't play football. And they had a local scout up there who saw him as a basketball player and thought, you know, this guy could be a football player. So they brought him to camp. They put him on the practice squad, and now he is a starter, and he can play tight end or wide receiver.
They say it gets better every day. That's the end of the first quarter with the score: the Colts 7, the Redskins 3, and Fox NFL Sunday from Indianapolis will continue after these messages. Back in Indianapolis, 7-3. The Colts over the Redskins. Start of the second quarter coming.
Look at those stats. Look at that. Passing yards, 121 for the Colts in the first quarter. I mean, that's one thing they've proven, that they can throw the ball, and the Skins can't stop it.
James again. Stopped by Greg Jones.
James is having trouble. You know, the last 3 times he carried the ball, he's lost yards on every one. Look at this. You see the pass distribution of the Colts. He really does spread it around. 4 out of 6 to wide receivers, 2 out of 3 to tight ends, 1 to 1 to the running back, and of course that was the big one for a touchdown.
The one-handed catch by James. Here's Manning, straight back. Ken Dilger.
Yep, that's good to know. Because I'd go around for years and years and years, and guys would always say the toughest guy to ever play, without a doubt, Doug Atkins.
Well, you get another vote from me, a flag on the play, because I played against him.
Without a doubt. There are guys that wouldn't go to the Pro Bowl because they didn't want to play against Doug Atkins.
I also played with one of them.
You know a name.
Yeah.
Huh?
Flag on the play at Hockey League.
Offense, number 74, 10-yard penalty. Repeat first down.
Waverly Jackson called for the violation.
Waverly Jackson has been struggling a little with that right guard position. That, you know, they have Jeff Saturday and he are taking every other series. You see he's right guard right there, and you're going to see him hold right there.
Got him.
The takedown. Big Daddy Wilkinson.
First down and 20. Redskins show blitz. The Colts do a good job of picking it up, and Harrison gets open. Coming across again, that great speed champ Bailey chased him down.
You know, and the guy that picked up that blitz was Edgerrin James. I mean, that's the last thing that comes. I mean, these running backs come out of college and they know how to run the ball, but the toughest thing they have is pass protection. Watch Edgerrin James on this one. I mean, he's going to be right here. He's going to see the blitz come right here. Now watch him pick it up. Doink! Right there. I mean, that is not only know the blitz is coming, see the blitz is coming, but then do something like that about it. This guy's the full package.
Be willing to do something about it. That's mostly want to.
Peyton Manning's giving all kinds of directions.
They have to hurry. Got it away. High over the head of James.
Yeah, he just threw that one away. I mean, he was looking. He couldn't find anything. Then he was going to go to James to dump it off to him. Then he saw James was covered, so he just zipped it and just put it right in the stands. There's a guy who's a heck of a coach. That's Tom Moore. He's the offensive coordinator and has been around a long time. He was at Pittsburgh with Chuck Noll and the Steelers. He was at Detroit. I mean, he's always coached good teams. He's a solid coach, a solid man, and he is great for this offense and this quarterback.
He said you got to pick what you do and stick with it. Manning from behind, and the ball's loose, and the Redskins have it. Sam Shade made the recovery.
You see who made the hit? It was Mark McMillan. Yeah, that's the thing that they didn't see. Now here's a blitz. Mark McMillan is the corner. He's going to come right here. You see they bring two guys from that side. McMillan is free, and now he goes for Peyton. McMillan weighs about 150 pounds. You see him, he hit Peyton, and he didn't even budge, and then he put his right hand in there and stripped him. Watch 21 come. He's going to make a hit and doesn't even budge him, but he does get the ball out.
Two defensive backs on the blitz. Is the season to be jolly? Yeah, it's a great season for the young. Davis up to the 45. 7-3 the score remains. Jeff.
You know, we talk about the triplets, Pat, and look at it. All three have fumbled today, and two of them have been lost. That last one was pretty good. The Redskins on defense loaded up on a blitz. They had Sam Shade and Mark McMillan, and Shade got blocked. McMillan didn't.
Brad Johnson hits Larry Centers coming out of the backfield.
You know, one thing that the Redskins haven't done yet, and I would expect with a good field position that they'll probably do it on this drive. They just get a first down right here and this good field position, but they haven't thrown the ball to a wide receiver yet. I think with Connell and Westbrook, I think that's a big part of their offense. And I think if you don't get the ball to them, then the defense starts to shrink on you. I think when you do get the ball to them, then that's going to open up things a little more for the running of Stephen Davis, too.
Larry Centers was shaken up a little bit after he made that last reception, and he ran to the sideline. Brian Mitchell. Here's Brad Johnson going deep. Maybe. Touchdown, Albert Connell.
They had the same feeling we did, that it was a bad time. They hadn't thrown to a wide receiver. This is the first one they do, that they ought to start going to stretch the defense. There's Daniel Snyder, the owner, saying, that's the one I wanted right there. Norv said, okay, there it is. Now, they showed the Colts the same thing that they were doing.
Yep.
Look, they have their two receivers here together. Connell is the outside guy, and he's just running a post pattern. He gets inside, and Brad Johnson just gets the ball out there to him.
Yep.
But that's the way to open it up. They got the good field position, then go for the strike.
Conway for the extra point is good. Ball barely got over the outstretched hands of the Colts defender, Jeff Burris. Connell, who just scored the touchdown for the Redskins to put them ahead. Conway's kick goes to Wilkins. Bounces. And out of bounds at about the 26, where the Colts will start. Washington leading by 3.
Yeah, we were talking now before the game. I was out there in the field talking to Edgerrin James, and Marcus Allen was there, and he was talking about slow starts and how it's kind of bugging him. He's carried the ball 8 times for 7 yards. His average is .9. So that is a slow start.
That's a slow start.
I mean, he's doing so well, and he's such a good back. You know that Tom Moore and the Colts are not going to get away from him.
1st and 10 from the 26.
They got these 4 receivers fled out to open up that middle. That's it right there.
James again hit behind the line by Derek Smith and Sam Shade.
Sam Shade. You see, the thing that they expected is they expected by going those receivers and spreading them out that would get maybe a linebacker out and definitely get the safety out. But that didn't get the safety out because Sam Shade, the safety, was the first guy there.
And Sam Shade is really playing well for the Redskins. Not just today, but in weeks leading up to this.
Now he finally feels comfortable with this defense, and his aggressiveness is coming out.
Manning just barely gets it out of there, but gets it out there accurately to Harrison, enough for a first down.
You wonder how he did that. You couldn't even see the ball come out of there. You wonder how he could see Harrison out here. You see, Harrison is going to come up here. Then he's going to start like to the inside. Then he's just going to stop and turn around, and the ball is right there. He's done everything to Champ Bailey. I mean, he's already gone by him a couple times on a post, and then making Champ Bailey think deep, and then you run that hook or stop in front of him.
Manning changing. Here comes the Redskin blitz as James slips away from one, from two, and gets the first down at midfield. Shade.
Yeah, we just saw James run here, but here's Peyton Manning. Just, you watch these throws that he makes, and he works so much with these guys that he hits them right in stride. I mean, you watch every one of these plays. The guy doesn't have to stop. He doesn't have to slow up. He doesn't have to get back or anything. He just keeps running the same speed when he catches the ball.
He doesn't have to worry about being led into trouble or a hard hit. He leaves him in the right place.
But they'd like to have those 3 fumbles back, wouldn't they?
Would they? Here he is dropping again. Manning. Dilger inside the Redskin 30.
Yeah, Peyton Manning was talking about Ken Dilger yesterday, and you know, because of Wilkins and Green and Harrison and James and all these guys, you don't get to Dilger much, and he says that Ken Dilger is the most unselfish player I've ever known in my life on any level.
22-yard pickup, and because he caught a lot of passes before Peyton Manning and the present regime got here, you'd think he might resent relinquishing some of that responsibility, but he doesn't, and he hasn't.
No, because even his backup, Pollard, is catching more balls than he is.
Here's Manning. Paul Shields dropped it. Incomplete.
I'll tell you one thing, there's a lot of audibleizing going on down there. Have you noticed that Peyton Manning every time is getting up there and changing plays, and then the defense is audibleizing and changing defenses? And one thing the Redskins do is they took their corners, Darrell Green and Champ Bailey. They're going to give them some help on Harrison, but they told them, don't you guys worry about the run, just don't get beat deep. You guys take the outside receivers, don't get beat deep. Don't worry about the run.
2nd and 10. Manning outside to Pollard, who's hit maybe a yard. He'll get out of this one. Sam Shade again.
You know, Sam Shade is one of those guys that you can play defense in the secondary, but also tackles well. I mean, he hits like a linebacker. I mean, when Sam Shade comes, he brings a pretty good load with him.
He does.
And he always unloads it. You know, he has that good extension right at the end.
3rd and long. Manning is going to line up deep in the spread formation. 3rd and 9. That means he's ready. Now he starts the man in motion. Harrison. Manning. Harrison.
I'll say this about Peyton Manning. He is going to throw the ball to Marvin Harrison.
And he's going to throw it deep.
And he's going to throw it deep, and he's going to throw it into double coverage, because that is at least the 4th time in this first half that he's thrown to Marvin Harrison when Marvin Harrison was double covered.
Jim Mora, former New Orleans Saints coach. Vanderjagt.
This guy's been hot. Look at this. He leads the NFL 28 out of 32 field goals, 53 long, 122 points.
43 yards out. Plenty long enough. And plenty good enough. We have a tie. Indianapolis 10, Washington 10.
And Sean King, what a surprise he is, huh?
Yeah.
Who would have thought that?
Kite kicks off a liner. Mishandle in the end zone, and James Thrash will let it stay there.
You know, you ever wonder, Pat, what happens when a big old tackle congratulates the kicker after he makes a field goal? Watch this. Watch Tariq Glenn. He hits Vanderjagt. Darker breaks his back. He just put his hand on his shoulder.
He's got the shoulder pads, doesn't he? Not a big ones.
But you see how it bent him back?
Yeah, I did.
I mean, Tarek Glenn weighs about 340 pounds. He put one hand on under that. Oh, it looked like a pretzel. That was the kickers. It looked like pretzels.
Here's Davis. Picked up about 6.
You know who's really playing well for this Colt defense is Cornelius Bennett right here. And you know, he's one of those veterans that you know has been around a long time, played for years for Buffalo, played in big games, and plays at a high level and practices at a high level. And Jim Morris says we wouldn't be 11-2 today if it weren't for Cornelius Bennett.
2nd and 4. Here's Davis again. And he knocks everybody back. Wow.
Looked like he was shot out of a cannon. Did you see that?
People came flying out of there.
They did. And he came flying out of there. That must have been a quick count or something.
Davis is a big guy, but
and that's the thing.
scary.
That's the thing that they all talked about that they wanted to do. But watch this. I mean, they just hand to him and get a little pull, and then he runs right through them. I didn't think they saw him coming.
They knew he was coming. Centers lined up, and now he comes in motion. Colts showing blitz, but this is Davis again and again. He picks up good yardage out to the 40.
Yeah, they're getting right in behind Trey Johnson there and Jansen, and that's where they want to go. I mean, you want to get in right here and do this and just get right in here behind your power. And watch Trey Johnson. He starts there and he gets a little double team. Jansen makes a good block. I mean, he takes his guy, Thomas, just takes him right to the outside. Between Trey Johnson on the inside, John Jansen on the outside, they make a heck of a hole.
How you like Trey's comment about Jansen last night? A monster in waiting. Pass from Johnson to Westbrook is complete. He moves into Indianapolis territory.
Yeah, Trey Johnson has a lot of good sayings.
Yeah.
One, he has, you know, when something's a small thing, like, you know, I mean, if he were to hit the kicker or something like that, he says, small thing to a giant.
Little thing to a giant. And he's a giant.
Yeah, he says when you pull, you just run through color. He said today, you know, in this game, anytime he pulls, he's just going to tell himself, run through blue.
Here's Davis again. Just a couple this time. Tripped up by Whittington.
You know, Larry Chester, who's playing against Trey Johnson, is a pretty strong guy. In fact, you know, I mentioned earlier that they both went to Temple, and that was a pretty good matchup there. I mean, Chester got underneath Trey Johnson on that play and held his own, although they ran right by him.
But Davis is held to a couple of yards. It's 2nd and 8. Davis again behind 3 blockers, and Davis hammers people and yards and everybody back toward the Colts goal line. Peterson made the stop.
Yeah, and the Redskins started off with some bad field position and so on, but now they're getting to do exactly what they wanted to do. You see Trey Johnson, 77, he's going to pull out there. He's not going to find any color. He can't find any blue to run through. Real Stephen Davis, he just gets behind and runs right by him. And if you can't find someone, just run straight up the field.
He packs a pretty good load. Davis weighs 235.
Look at this, and most of his yards have been in the middle and to the right.
Johnson.
Engineer, watch out.
A hit, and here comes a flag. This was not. It was hit by Chad Cota.
Yeah, Chad Cota saw that. It was a post, and you can either go for the ball or go for the guy. Chad Cota went for the guy, but the problem was the ball was already beyond him.
Through the end zone. This wasn't a necessary hit.
Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness defense. Number 37. Hitting a defenseless receiver after the overthrown pass. 15-yard penalty. Automatic first down.
Yeah, Steve, this isn't a pass interference here because the ball is already beyond the receiver. And you're going to see it coming here. See, the ball is gone, and then Chad Cota, who was going for a collision angle, makes the collision anyway. And there was no way that Steven Alexander was going to catch the ball, but Chad Cota, that was his read. You know, I mean, you either go for the ball and the guy, and when the guy comes inside, you're going to go at an angle where you're going to have a collision, but you also have to see and feel the ball.
But he knew it was coming as soon as the hit was made. He knew the penalty was coming. So did everybody else, I think.
Well, in his defense, he couldn't take the hit back. I mean, he was at that point of no return.
Here's Davis. Inside the 15, about the 12 or 13 by Chad Cota.
And I was just going to say, see who made the tackle there, that because they're getting this run going now, the Colt defense has to get that safety up there, which means that you have 8 men in the box, and Chad Cota, the strong safety, becomes that 8th man.
And now you can start to throw it.
And then you can go back to your outside receivers, and that's the type of thing that they wanted to do. But I know that all these players, I mean, Stephen Davis, his offensive line, all wanted to pound the ball today, and they are doing it now.
This is Davis down close to a first down, about a yard and a half short.
You know, this is the play before, and you see Chad Cota there. I think he's still showing the frustration from the play before.
Steve Davis had a bad toe. He might be limping a little bit, but...
Well, the last time we saw him, he said, "How you doing?" He said, "My feet are killing me."
Yeah.
He said, other than that, he's feeling pretty good.
He said it doesn't hurt me when I run.
Watch the blocking here. I mean, here comes Jansen. I mean, when he comes down, he just collapses that side. Then they pull Badger around. That is a powerful side of the line.
Skip Hicks has taken Steve Davis' place.
There was a time that they thought Skip Hicks was going to be the starting tailback.
Flag on the play as Johnson gets down at about the 8, but a penalty marker down.
Yeah, you remember Skip Hicks was the starting tailback at the end of last year. Stephen Davis was the fullback.
And before the ball was snapped, false start, offense, number 88, 5-yard penalty. It's still third down.
You remember what Steve Davis said about, you asked him about when his feet hurt? He said it didn't hurt when he ran. He said, when do your feet hurt? He said, now. They're just sitting there.
He said they just after a game, they just hurt all the time the whole week. You know, and the thing that has been killing the Redskins the last couple of weeks are the penalties. Remember the game that we did in Detroit? They had 3 false starts and
well, they had 14 penalties. Yeah.
2 minutes.
2 minutes coming up.
And both teams are going to be satisfied to let this run down to the 2-minute warning and take the 2-minute timeout.
Both teams have all their timeouts remaining, but they'll stop it here for 2 minutes. 10-10 tie. Well, it is a timeout with one second before 2 minutes. Steve Davis headed for the locker room early. Redskins took a timeout with 1 second to go before the 2-minute warning.
The only thing I can think of is the play clock was running out.
That's supposed to be a shuttle pass. That's not a fumble. That's an incomplete pass.
You wonder where they got that idea. And they had time to think about that one, too. That was a third down pass. Indianapolis did that last week and got a touchdown out of it. But I think you have confidence now. You could have just thrown the ball for a first down there.
As you saw a second ago, Stephen Davis was taken to the locker room. He has a sprained ankle. They're going to check him out at halftime. He's questionable for his return in the second half.
Brett Conway lines it up from 32 yards out. He made his first. Trying to untie the score. And the Redskins recapture the lead.
Now, this is a pretty good first half. You know, there's only been one punt, and so we expected offense, and we've gotten offense. Big old Trey Johnson getting arrested. Said he's in so much better shape now that he can go the whole time. You know, they had those meetings. Remember last week that we were talking about Daniel Snyder met with some of the players individually, and Trey Johnson was one of the players that he met with individually, and he told us last night that it was a positive thing. He just wanted the veterans to show some more leadership. He said there was no cutting of anyone.
Met four veterans, 2 on each side of the ball.
And Trey Johnson being one of them, and he said then after that they in turn called a team meeting for last Saturday, just coached the players only, and then they went out and played well against Cardinals.
Wilkins, he is exciting, taken down by Thrash. Coming up on the Visa halftime report, J.B. Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league, and our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up on the Visa halftime report.
And you see that Brad Johnson there? He has one of those wristbands on, you know, where they have the plays on their wrist. So if they have trouble hearing, they can just send him a number, and he can look on the wrist and call the corresponding play.
Colts have all 3 of their timeouts remaining. A minute 49 left. Here's Manning. There's a shuttle pass that at least they got it to the receiver. James.
You guys are used to seeing that now. Defensive linemen, linebackers are all playing that a lot better.
2nd and 7. Manning. Harrison. First down. Colts.
And Manning's going to take a timeout here. Tariq Glenn made a nice move on Marco Coleman of giving him one push. It looked like Coleman was coming from Peyton Manning's backside. It looked like he was really going to get a sack, and then Glenn just bumps him out of there. Let's watch it here. Here it is right here. Now Glenn will come back here with us. He looks like he gets around, and then right at the end, Tariq Glenn, number 78, will just bump him out. You see right here, it looks like he's going to get him, and then boom, just right there, just that little push, and Peyton Manning stepping up, he was able to get away, but it looked from up here like there was going to be a real collision on that play.
That offensive line's done a good job of protecting Peyton Manning.
Yeah, especially that guy that we just saw there, Tariq Glenn, because he's a left tackle who protects his backside, and you always talk about protecting the backside and all that, and that last play was a very good example of that.
Only been sacked 13 times all year.
A big part of that is Peyton Manning, too, the way he moves and gets rid of the ball quickly.
1st and 10. Manning, pump fake, and now he goes deep. And he got Harrison, who made the catch. He's shaken up a bit.
This guy is amazing. I mean, they're trying to get him up so they can get him lined up. You see that? Ken Dilger came out there and picked him up because they want to spike this ball. They want to get up and get up lined up. And then he tried to spike it right there. That was an interesting thing. Harrison was down out there. Ken Dilger ran out and picked him up and propped him up in position, then ran back to his position so that they could snap the ball.
He might have still been running back to his position when they snapped it.
I think that, you wonder about that play if it was challenged, if that ball hit the ground, too.
False start, offense, number 74, the 5-yard penalty. There's also a 10-second runoff.
Waverly Jackson.
The false start inside the last 1 minute.
Let's just see. Here's where Dilger comes.
Reset the clock to 44 seconds. 44.
Puts him back in position and then runs up.
Stands him up out there. First and 15. Hayden.
Yeah, what that last penalty was, it was a false start, and then because of the false start, they're going to run 10 seconds off the clock.
Harrison comes out to the right. Green goes left in the slot. Manning in the shotgun. 1st and 15. There's that screen again that they started the game with. Wilkins.
That was the first play of the game, and it was the same one. They have their field goal position, so they're just going to go again without a huddle. Just get up in the same formation.
2 timeouts left. Harrison. Now they'll have to burn a timeout. He didn't quite get the first down.
Well, then what they do, they take a timeout now, then they're going to have to try and get a first down and then take another timeout. See, because if they don't get a first down, then they have to go for the field goal.
Don't forget, coming up on the Visa halftime report, J.B., Terry, Howie, and Chris will have scores and highlights from around the league. Our Fox Sports ticker will have up to the second stats. That's all coming up at the half on the Visa halftime report.
See, this is the situation here with one timeout, I think, and not having a first down. What you'd like to do is get a play. You don't have to go for the end zone here because you have a timeout, and you're in field goal position, but you'd like to get the first down, and then you have a chance at another play.
3rd and 2 in this drive. Manning 5 out of 5. He's impressive
in every area.
Yep.
Old empty backfield.
James was the man in motion. Manning. Ball bounces high, and then it's picked off in the end zone by Sean Barber.
Well, I was surprised.
That's the thing you don't want to have.
No, I was surprised at that call. I thought they would run the ball to get a first down and then maybe take a shot at the end zone. And when you get down there, the shot at the end zone you usually take as the corners, but not in the middle of the field, because this can happen.
And did happen. Deflected.
Yeah, Sam Shade was the guy. Sam Shade has played a heck of a first half.
And Barber.
He's been up there in the run, and he's been all over the place.
Barber looked like he might have turned his ankle. He seems okay.
Yeah, anytime you get an interception in the end zone, and you know, I mean, because the Colts were in great position here.
Yeah.
They had a field goal, and the thing you want to do is if it's not widely open, just throw the thing away and take your 3 points, and they didn't.
But a good first half. The Redskins 13-10 over the Colts. Back in Indianapolis, 13-10 Washington over the Colts. Pat Summerall here with John Madden. You look at the halftime statistics, which we're going to do here in just a moment. And the key one, as far as I'm concerned, is turnovers. The Redskins took advantage of the turnovers. The Colts turned it over 3 times.
Yeah, and you'll see it here that you know that's a big thing. And the Colts, 2 of those turnovers were in the red zone.
Right.
So of course you would think that they would be scores. And that last one just before the halftime, you know, that should have been 3 points. And if you take your shot, you either get the touchdown or you take the 3. And the Colts fouled that up. I think the Redskins have been playing very well. I mean, they're playing hard. They're tackling well. They're mixing up their defenses, and you're not going to stop the Colts. You just try and kind of contain them a little, and I think they're doing a pretty good job of that.
John, what do you think things have to happen here in the second half?
Well, you know, I think now with the Redskins having the lead, they can go back to do what they wanted to do early in the game, and that's just pound the ball. So I think they're going to do that, and I think that, excuse me, I think that the Colts will just go back and play like they did at the beginning of the game.
The Redskins can do that even if Steve Davis can't come back?
Yeah, you know, because Skip Hicks is the real deal, too. I mean, Skip Hicks can play, and as we look here at the turnovers in the red zone, the first one was Marvin Harrison, and then this other one here was just before the halftime, and there's Peyton Manning's dad, Archie, and you can see, and his mother, Olivia, there, and you can see what Archie thinks when he sees that interception. He just puts his head in his hands and leaves it there.
Well, Archie went through some tough years in his career. The best a team that he quarterback ever did was 8-8.
Yeah,
but what a player he was.
And a classy guy.
Yeah.
I think not only a classy guy, and I think you can see what a job both he and his wife had done of raising Peyton Manning, and
Meet the two brothers, and same thing is true.
And the whole group. I mean, you know, that he's just something special as a quarterback and a person, and I think, you know, he learned how to study and how to get ready, and he attributes that all to his dad.
And his mom. They asked him yesterday. Well, you look at the running back comparison.
Yeah, you see Stephen Davis really won that. 14 rushes, 70 yards, 5 yards a carry. Edgerrin James was talking about that slow start, and he got off to one, but like Chris Collinsworth was saying at halftime, they will continue to feed Edgerrin James.
Danny Kite's kickoff is brought out by Brian Mitchell out to about the 23.
It'll be interesting to see if Stephen Davis comes back out for this second half. But as we were saying, Skip Hicks is a guy that can run the ball and is a good tailback. I mean,
Skip Hicks, there he is.
And he thought that he was going to be the starter this year. In fact, Norv Turner said that they were both even when he started training camp, and Stephen Davis just beat him out. He said he didn't have the feeling that Skip Hicks even thought he was in competition. He just thought he had the job. And Stephen Davis was better every day.
Skip Hicks is 230. Runs through a tackle and near first down yardage. Let's go down to D.J. Johnson.
As of now, Stephen Davis has not come out of the locker room for the second half. He has gotten x-rays, and they're taping his ankle right now. Once they get the results of the x-rays and let him jog around for a few minutes, they're going to see if he's able to return. Right now, they're not sure. Pat, John?
All right, DJ.
Hicks did get the first down, his first carry.
And if they don't, have Stephen Davis, then it'll be Skip Hicks, and they can still do a few things in there with Larry Centers and Brian Mitchell too. So they don't run out of backs quickly.
That Centers in motion. Here's Brad Johnson, caught by Albert Connell, who eluded one Colt tackler and got maybe 5 yards.
Cornelius Bennett did a good job. He got out here on this left side. He got underneath Westbrook. And you see that in the first half, they really didn't get a lot of pressure on Brad Johnson. And this is where Brad Johnson was trying to throw. You watch Cornelius Bennett. See, he comes out here and he gets underneath. And that's where he was trying to throw. So when Brad Johnson saw that, he turned from his left and threw it over to his right side.
2nd and 5. Hicks will get the carry. And gets about a yard shy of the first down.
I'm sure the one thing that the Washington Redskins aren't going to do this half is what they did in Detroit. Remember, they came out, and in the second half, they only ran Stephen Davis 3 times. And they felt that they got away from that. And then when they didn't run the ball, then the line had trouble. They had trouble with the crowd, and they had trouble with the defensive line of the Lions. Now, the defensive line of the Lions, I will say this, is a better defensive line than the defensive line of the Colts.
3rd and 1. And here come the officials waving arms and coming in. Timeout, Washington.
Timeout, Washington. That's their first charge timeout.
Brad Johnson trots over to the sideline. The Redskins lead the Colts 13-10. 3rd and short. Skip Hicks is deep. He got hit and didn't get the first down. Looked like it was going to open up, and then it shut quickly. There's Steve Davis returning to the Redskins sideline.
Yeah, we talk about Trey Johnson. When he pulls, he trips a little bit, and how well they're reading that. They can look, they see him pull, they know what hole he's going into, and they just hit that hole before he can even get there.
Good, sure tackle by Jason Belzer.
Remember Jason Belzer? I remember his dad. Jason Belzer's dad played for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Redskin punt, not a good one. Handled by Wilkins, who eluded the first tackler and then goes out of bounds at about the 18. Boy, is he quick. There's Davis. Whether it'll be back or not, we just have to wait and see. 13-10, Washington. right now. The Colts have the ball. 1st and 10. Manning for James. Anthony Cook.
You know, the defensive line of the Redskins really played well in the first half. It's been a physical thing. I think that both sides of the ball for the Redskins line has done well. I think their offensive line has kind of controlled that part, and their defensive line is doing well, especially against the run.
They pretty well shut down Edger and James. 2nd and 5. He got 5 that time.
And you know you're not going to do that all day.
Here's Manning back to throw it. Harrison couldn't hang on.
Boy, did he have a collision there with Derek Smith. That was the same type of thing that Chad Cota had in the first half. You see Harrison, you know, the ball was beyond him, and Derek Smith was in there waiting for him, and he really unloaded on him.
Chad Cota, the only difference, Chad Cota got a penalty.
Yeah, I know it, and Derek Smith didn't, but it was the same situation. The ball was already beyond. The ball was already out of there, and they let Derek Smith get away with that one, and they didn't let Chad Cota get away with it.
3rd and 5. Redskins showing blitz. Now they back out of it. At least on one side. Manning outside to James, and that'll be enough for the first down. He saw it coming.
Yeah, he did see it. As you said, they backed out of it on the right side, and they brought the safety on the left defensive side, or right offensive side, and that's the side that Peyton Manning, he saw it coming and just got the ball out there to James.
Well, he was saying to us yesterday, the more you can prepare before the snap of the ball, the more you know what they're where they're coming from, when they're coming, before you get the ball. That's when it becomes very, very important.
And he never looked confused other than that last play before the half.
Swinging deep for Harrison, incomplete, and no flag. Champ Bailey.
Now, Champ Bailey's been on Marvin Harrison all day with help. You see Sam Shade was over there too. Here's Champ Bailey. Here's Marvin Harrison. You're going to see the help is going to come from the inside here, but Harrison can run by anyone. Champ Bailey did a good job of getting position and then turning his head back towards the ball. If he doesn't look back towards the ball, that could have been interference.
You know, you heard in the beginning about Peyton Manning that his arm wasn't very strong, but it looks plenty strong enough to me.
And it's getting and has gotten stronger. That time they ran right into big old daddy. One thing we know that they're going to go after him with Marvin Harrison. You know, and it doesn't make any difference if he's single covered, double covered. Here they throw twice the double coverage. Then this one here is the same thing. I mean, every time Marvin Harrison has been double covered and Peyton Manning has still thrown it to him. And if he made a little better throw a couple times, those would have been touchdowns.
Well, see what he does here. 3rd and long. Pressure. Almost picked off by Champ Bailey.
Yeah, Champ Bailey had the coverage that time. You know what the Colts are trying to do? You know, it's with Marvin Harrison again, and they're trying to make him think deep. And here's Champ Bailey right here, the rookie. And you just see him. He's just going to get a bump on him, and they're going to try and sell that he's going deep, and then he just runs a hook.
Hunter Smith back to punt.
This is the first time the Colts have punted today.
First time. Back deep is Brian Mitchell. This is a heck of a punt. Mitchell fields it at the 5 and brings it out of there to the 20. Could have saved himself a hit. 13-10. Redskins over the Colts. 9:45 left in the 3rd. There was a penalty. Ed Hockley.
After the play was over, personal foul by Indianapolis, number 83, unnecessary roughness. 15-yard penalty, first down.
Brad for Vanta.
Yeah, but I mean the penalty right there. No, that was 23. Yeah. That's Keith Elias, and I think that's what they had to be called. I don't know if he was celebrating or really throwing a punch.
He didn't hit anybody. Here's Brad Johnson. Ball came loose. He got it. Now he finally runs down. And right now, let's send you again back to D.J. Johnson.
Well, Stephen Davis is out of the locker room, and he has returned to the Redskins sideline, but he will not be back playing in the second half. He has ice on his ankle. He's all wrapped up. He'll sit the second half out. Pat, John?
Which means Skip Hicks, and that's a big loss. Well, Hicks is not a good player.
One of the reports that DJ had is he not only has a sprained ankle, but he has a chip fracture.
That's Hicks.
Hey, it's over.
And outside the 40, excuse me.
No, you could just tell the way he walked out there that, because I saw him come out of the tunnel and walk across the field, that Stephen Davis wasn't going to play anymore. And then, he takes off his shoe, and you can just tell that and look there that he's having such a great year. Yeah. He's had such a great year and was going to have a great second half, because the big part of what the Redskins want to do is still continue to pound the ball, and then you get that injury and you have to sit there and watch someone else do it.
3rd and 5, and Mitchell comes out of the backfield and makes a catch, a very difficult catch, and got enough for the first down.
And that's what experience does on that 3rd down back. I mean, you have a guy like Brian Mitchell, been in the league for 10 years. He knows what he's in there for, and he's in there to get first down. And you're going to see that, he's going to come out, and he's going to go exactly up there where the first down is. Always knows where the first down marker is, runs that out, makes the catch, and gets the first down. A veteran receiver out of the backfield will not leave a play like that short. He's not going to run a 2-yard pattern when you need 4.
That's why a guy like him is so valuable. Here's Johnson, has the ball batted backwards. Michael Barber.
Hey, Mark Thomas was in there. Mark Thomas is the guy that plays left end. He's the pass rusher. So when they expect a pass rush, he's the guy that's going to come. And you see number 90 there? He's the guy that makes Brad Johnson step up and throw the ball, and then he didn't have a lane to throw it in, and it was batted right back at him.
2nd and 10.
Remember, last time we saw Mark Thomas here, he got a concussion, and they took him out in an ambulance.
He missed a week and then came back. Here's Brad Johnson again, and here comes a Colt blitz. And Johnson lofts it high and out of bounds, a flag on the play.
Yeah, that's going to be holding, too. I think they caught him. Mike Peterson was coming on the blitz, and you could see as he started to get away, he was grabbed. He was rushing Brad Johnson, then he started to get away, and they held him. Peterson, as he started to turn and go to get Brad Johnson, he kind of just jerked back. That was what Ed Hockley saw.
Holding, offense, number 30, 10-yard penalty, repeat second down.
Brian Mitchell.
Yeah, that's Brian Mitchell. And you're going to see it right up here. You see, here comes Peterson right there. You see, and he hits him. Now when Brad Johnson starts to go out, Peterson starts to run with him. You see that? And Brian Mitchell grabbed him.
So it's 2nd down and 20. Brad Johnson looks a little unsettled.
2nd and 20 on the road in a dome will do that to you.
This is Mitchell, who gets it out to about the 44-yard line of Indianapolis. 13-10, the Redskins leading.
They were talking about Cornelius Bennett, being the veteran guy, knowing that when you get 2nd and 20, that you still have to play the draw. And that's what he does there. He's keying on Mitchell, and he knows that, it should be a passing down. You always key that back that's in the backfield until the quarterback gets beyond him.
3rd and 12 coming up. Westbrook stood out wide left. Haven't heard much from him. Here's Brad Johnson. Connell, the intended receiver, well over his head and out of bounds.
That one either looked like Brad Johnson tried to throw that one out of bounds or it got away from him.
I think it got away from him.
Because that thing just took off and sailed there. But Connell didn't have anything. There was nothing there anyway. One, he was too close to the sideline, and two, he wasn't anywhere near open.
Matt Turk back to punt it. Deep is Terrence Wilkins.
Terrence Wilkins is dangerous.
He'll have a chance. And good play downfield. The Redskins, Sam Shade again. Down early.
Sam Shade is having a big game.
13-10 Redskins. Back in Indianapolis. Pat Summerall with John Madden. 6:43 left in the third quarter. And the Redskins up by 3. Manning fake to James. Throws perfectly. Incomplete. Harrison was the target.
Boy, dude, his fakes work well. I mean, he really, you know, the thing that you try and fake when you do something like that, you try and fake linebackers. And he made a fake in there, and he took Derek Smith, the middle linebacker, all the way into the backfield. That was a good throw. I mean, he should have caught that. But you know, sometimes you'll get a guy to hold a little, and then sometimes you'll really get him to go, and then sometimes he'll take a big old bite. Derek Smith took a big old bite on that play fake.
2nd and 10. James. Nothing doing. Greg Jones.
Yeah, we talk about the play action pass, and there's 4 parts of it. First of all, the line, and this is what the Colts do so well, they all have to block like it's a run. They can't go back like it's a pass. And the second thing is the quarterback has to come back at the same speed on a pass or a handoff. He has to do it at the same speed that he does a run and a pass. And then third thing, the runner that you're faking to has to run like he has a ball and run to be tackled. And there's one more thing. The receivers, they have to come off the ball and make the passes and runs all look alike.
Redskins showing blitz over in their right side. Manning gets it out of there. Incomplete, almost picked off at the last second. Harrison got a hand on it. Deflected it. And the Redskins almost came up with it, but it is the Colts will have to punt.
You know, you look at Peyton Manning, you know, has thrown so many passes today. He looks like he's starting to get tired. And Marvin Harrison looks like he's getting tired of running passes because he's run so many deep passes.
Hunter Smith out of his end zone to punt it. Brian Mitchell back. Second good kick of the day by Smith, but Mitchell handled. Close to midfield. Hit by Keith Elias. Now he doesn't look tired. May have already started.
Well, Brad Johnson's only thrown 11 passes today. He's 7 out of 11. I know the Redskins wanted to pound it at him, but he's only thrown 11 times.
Here's Skip Hicks. And Hicks, a good effort, close to first down.
You always in football, you always want to get where you have the advantage. You know, you always want to find areas where you have the advantage, and one of the areas that the Redskins feel that they have an advantage is their offensive line over the defensive line of the Colts, because you can just see that if they fire out that they can manhandle them. I mean, they're bigger and they're stronger, and they want to take advantage of that, and the way you do that is by running the ball.
Hicks is deep. Hicks gets the carry. Hicks gets the first down.
Hey, he had a pretty good block out there by Mike Sellers. Mike Sellers has been a tight end and a fullback, but watch him right here. He's going to come out right here, and he's going to take Cornelius Bennett. He's going to get him and then drive him. Then as Bennett starts to go, just give him that one more shot to let Hicks get around the corner and get that first down.
Redskin first at the Colt 37. Hicks deep. That may have been the old counter play, or supposed to be.
Yeah, that was that option play. That was that weak side option play where you don't block the defensive end. You fake to the fullback strong side, and then you just flip it out there weak side. But they didn't go for it at all. You just want to see you fake strong, then you go out here weak. You're trying to option that guy, but you can't run it if there's a guy outside of him. And there were two guys out there. You can run that play if there's just one guy out there to option. On that play, there were two guys out there to option.
Here's Johnson. Pass incomplete for Westbrook.
Yeah, you want to see how that play's supposed to look? You see, you let that guy come, and you option him, and then just throw it around him. But what happened with the Redskins, there were two Colts out there instead of just this one guy. Pretty good.
Yep.
And that brings up this 3rd and long. And now this crowd's going to go crazy. Listen to them here. They're all standing up. They know about defense here.
Johnson up under the center, drops to throw it.
That's what they brought Chad Bratsky here for. That is a big, big play.
Hurts punt sails down to Wilkins over his head and into the end zone and out. They'll bring it out.
That 3rd down play. This is what they brought Chad Bratsky here for. Chad Bratsky, a very good pass rusher. And you see he goes on Andy Heck here, clubs him with that left hand. Great club, and gets to the inside, grabs Brad Johnson. He couldn't get rid of the ball and makes the tackle. Watch the left hand right here. He's going to hit with the left, club with the left hand, bring Andy Heck to the outside. Then he got a direct pass at Brad Johnson. Hey, that was a big, big defensive play.
And a very good play.
And that's why the Colts signed Chad Bratsky from the Giants in the offseason as a free agent to give him a little pass rush, and he's done that.
Manning to James, and James gets a yard and a half. 3 minutes left in the 3rd quarter.
You see what Peyton Manning's done. Look at this, Marvin Harrison. He's thrown to him 14 times. You talking about a go-to guy or a favorite thing? Other wide receivers, 3 for 3. Tight ends, 5 out of 7. Running backs, 3 for 6. But Marvin Harrison is the guy that he's going to look for and he's going to go to.
Manning fakes to James again. Fires up the middle. Complete to Marvin Harrison. Right at midfield, a strike from Manning, but there's a flag back at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be holding against Indianapolis.
I saw Ed Hockley go both ways, Pat.
Did you?
I saw him go back that way, then I saw him point the other way. So he did a double dip on this in his signals.
Well, they're moving up toward midfield.
Foul, roughing the passer. Defense, number 90. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
Yep, he first pointed the other way.
Yeah, he
It's
did.
going to be right here. Oof.
At the knees.
Yep, that's one of those that Kennard Lang does, and you see it after he throws the ball's gone. You can't do that. I mean, that's something that could not only be a penalty, but that could be a fine, because that's the shot that can put a guy out for the season.
Yeah, that's a big play. Thank goodness it didn't put him out for the season. So tack the penalty onto the completion. And it's 1st down, Colts at the Redskins 35. James looking for some running room, finding a little bit. There hasn't been much today.
No, because that defensive line of the Redskins is playing very well. I mean, Stubblefield in there, Wilkinson, those guys are, holding the point. Derek Smith is tough in there. He's not giving them any place to go. And then when he tries to cut back, they're doing a good job. Here's Kennard Lang. See, the ball is gone, and he takes that shot right there at the knees. He may not have seen it, but you have to know. Once the ball is gone, you can't hit the quarterback.
There's Manning. Sidearm. E.G. Green makes the reception, keeps his balance, and gets to the 20. First down.
How he kept his balance, I have no idea, because Matt Stevens, number 23, was right there. Matt Stevens, E.G. Green, and the ball all arrive about the same time. Watch, here's Green right here. He's going to come in. Matt Stevens is going to jump it right there. And they all get there about the same time. And E.G. Green just made just enough like a basketball move, position his body to get that ball. See that move right there at the end? All he gave him was the back of 84.
James behind Manning. First and 10. To James. Up the middle. E.G. Green incomplete. He had it and lost it.
But again, Peyton Manning is such a good ball faker. I mean, I think he's the best. He's the best in football at making that fake. And then you don't have to worry about all those underneath guys. And you see E.G. Green, you see he has his hands too close to his body. So then the ball comes in there and it hits his hands and his body at the same time and bounces out. He tried to cover that up. That didn't work though, did it?
No.
He didn't have to go to instant replay or anything.
Second and 10. Here's Manning. This time he gives the ball to James, and James with room. James at about the 1.
I'll tell you, James hasn't done a lot today, but he's made two of the greatest plays that I've seen. One, that catch that he made, and then this run down here. This is a little Barry Sanders-like on this one here. And he just takes the ball to his left, takes it there, makes a cut there. Then he's going to go to the outside, switches the ball in the outside hand, and then runs it up, and just darn near gets it in the end zone.
That's the end of the third quarter with the score of the Redskins 13, the Colts 10. Fox NFL Sunday from Indianapolis will continue after a word from your local Fox station. Another quarter to go, 13-10 Redskins, but the Colts are close. First and goal at about the 1.
I bet 32 gets it here. Nope.
Manning. Loft. Touchdown. Dilger. The ball just sort of dropped in there.
The old unselfish tight end got one. I think everyone was thinking that 32 was getting it, and again, Peyton Manning makes a good ball fake to 32, holds everyone up in there, and gets Ken Dilger in the back in the end zone.
Keep the ball for me.
Watch him. You see him make that fake, and then look, and here's Dilger, and he just, as you said, he just dropped it in there. There was two Colt receivers there, and there were 3 Redskin defenders. That's the definition of throwing the ball in a crowd.
Vandergat hits the extra point. And the Colts lead the Redskins 17-13. 14:56. In Indianapolis, Santa's workshop. And this is Peyton's workshop.
Yep, that's Peyton Manning's ankle there. I don't know if it's an injury or sometimes a tape job during the game will get loose.
Well, I think when he got hit.
That loosened the tape job?
Yep, I think it did.
It could, or sometimes you just tighten up those tape jobs. Yeah, and, some of these teams that, want to get into playoffs, they have to win to get into playoffs. You're not going to get it by other teams losing, and if you do, you just get into playoffs, and you're going to lose the first round anyway.
Now Skip Hicks, 17-13.
I don't think it means anything. We saw Peyton Manning getting his ankle taped, and Steve Walsh was down there warming up in the sideline. He just put the ball down, and he's over talking and looking at Peyton Manning, so that thought had to go through someone's mind.
Brad Johnson back to throw it. Pressure again. They almost beheaded him. And a flag on the play.
Ooh, and that's Ellis Johnson, and he came on a stunt, number 62 there. And he was the first guy that broke free. The stunt, they twisted across the tackle. I don't know if he got the face mask when he came through, but I
think that's what the flag is.
Yeah, it was Ellis Johnson who broke through. Larry Chester went to the left, and Ellis Johnson came around.
Face mask, you can see Norv Turner.
I guarantee you Norv Turner, from where he is, couldn't see a face mask.
Jim Moore,
I think he's hoping
both these
for
guys
a face
have got a heck of a job. Yeah, I think that's
There
what
was
they're
no
hoping.
foul on the play. The hand was not inside the face mask. Third down.
That was Ellis Johnson. Watch Ellis Johnson is number 62. He's going to come. He's the first guy right there. And you can see that his hand hit. Oh, I don't know that he didn't touch the face mask.
He did touch it.
Yeah, it looked like it hit the top of the helmet. Then his hand did touch the face mask. But they're saying that it didn't, but it was just the top of the helmet.
So it's third and long.
But it was a good stunt that got Ellis Johnson there. I mean, it was a good pass rush.
With an opportunity to grab him by the face mask. Ed Hercules called over the sideline. He's saying, Norv Turner's saying, no way. Can they challenge this?
I don't think this is challengeable.
I don't think so either, but he wants to.
Gave Chad Bratsky was the guy that got the sack, credit for the sack, and that was his third sack of the day.
The ruling on the field is not a challengeable play.
Not a
there are no
challengeable.
timeouts charged, and there is no challenge.
Yeah, but he did have the face mask.
Yeah, he did.
You know, the first thing, the official threw the flag, and he was right.
Yeah,
you see it right there.
Yeah.
And his hand is right in the face mask. And they saw it and threw it, then picked it up and said that they didn't see what they saw. Now the coach is up here in the box and seeing what we're looking at, and they're telling Norv it was a face mask.
Well, they said he didn't get his hand inside the face mask.
But he got his hand inside the face mask.
Yeah, got the fingers in there. Here's Brad Johnson back and firing deep, and the pass is caught by Irving Fryer. Clutch catch.
Irving Fryer, that's what they brought him in here for. 16-year veteran. He retires. He's the third wide receiver. Watch him here in McMillan. They're playing a zone. Now you find a hole in the zone and come under control. That's exactly what Irving Fryer did. Came under control. Brad Johnson finds it and zips it right in there.
First down. Here's Hicks. How about 3?
Yeah, we were talking about face masks, but watch what happens if two guys get their face mask caught up. That's Brad Badger there.
Yeah.
His face mask got caught up, and he had to take it off. That was with Ellis Johnson,
yeah.
The same guy that they didn't call for the face mask. That's when you bump heads and you go face mask to face mask, and yours gets caught in his.
Hook 'em horn.
Then you got to take yours off.
2nd and 7. Johnson back. Here comes the blitz. Johnson quickly hits Larry Centers and gets a Redskin first down.
Yeah, we were talking about how Brian Mitchell on those third down passes knows how to come out of the backfield and get first down. Larry Centers is the same way.
Always has.
He's that type of guy that is a good football player. I mean, he can do it all. He can run a little. He's a good receiver, and then he always knows where he has to go to get the first down.
And he got the first down.
Irving Fryer is now the 7th leading receiver.
Pass intended for Centers. Did he make this catch? I think they're saying it was down. Clock stopped 11:57. Almost made the catch.
Yeah, well, he got the one hand on it, and then he went to bring it in, and the ball hit the ground, but that wouldn't have made any difference anyway.
The Colt lead is 4 points. 17-13. Flag on the play.
I think Bratsky jumped or Andy Heck moved. It came from that side. Either there was a little movement, but Chad Bratsky got off, I think, before the ball.
Snap, ball start, offense. Number 64.
Andy Heck.
5-yard penalty.
That's why Chad Bratsky jumped so quickly, because Chad Bratsky is the defender that is lining up over Andy Heck. Here's Andy Heck right here. Now this, yep, there he moved right there.
Yeah, he did.
And the second that he just flinched like that, Chad Bratsky, boom, he comes So now that makes the officials call something right now.
2nd and 15. Bratsky's had a good day.
3 sacks. I mean, that's a good couple of games for some guys.
2nd and 15.
It's a good season for some defensive tackles.
Yes, it is. Ooh.
And he bull rushed him that time. Did you see Bratsky that time? He just bull rushed Andy Heck, and he took him right back to Brad Johnson.
There's a block on the other side of the scrimmage, line of scrimmage.
But here's Bratsky here, and here's Andy Heck. Now watch, that's a bull rush. You just get underneath the guy, and you just drive him right into the quarterback.
Irving Fryer just nailed somebody. Mark Thomas upended him on the other end of the line.
Yeah, you know, Irving Fryer comes in as the 3rd wide receiver. Watch, here it is right here. You're going to see right there. Irving Fryer has always been a tough guy.
That's a little bit more than a chip. 3rd down. Incomplete, and there's the flag.
Ooh, watch out. Don't get too close to those officials.
There's Daniel Snyder applauding what he hopes is a violation against the Colts, and it is. Blevins.
Pass interference. Defense, number 26. Automatic 1st down.
The Colts don't think so.
There's Bill Polian in the middle, and we saw the reaction on their booth. We saw the reaction on Daniel Snyder's booth, and we have yet to see Tony Blevins.
Tony Blevins is easy not to see.
He only weighs about 150 pounds,
I said he's listed to Jim Moore yesterday. He's listed at 165. He said he may not be that much.
Yeah, I don't know. But that was awfully close. I mean, Tony Blevins, that was, he got there about the same time the ball did. That looked pretty good to me.
Here comes the safety blitz. And Johnson can't get away from this one. Does get it away to Brian Mitchell, and Mitchell stays on his feet and turns nothing into something.
You know, they don't call in the grasp anymore.
No.
Mike Peterson, the linebacker, came on a blitz, and he really had Brad Johnson.
Yeah.
But Brad Johnson, that's what you get when you're a big, strong quarterback, is you can take on something like this. Watch Peterson here. He's going to come, and he has him in the grasp there, and Brad Johnson is just strong enough to hold up to be able to get rid of that ball.
Got 4 yards.
Peterson just goes right by Brian Mitchell. Now, Mitchell better catch the ball because it was his guy that was on Brad Johnson.
That's Skip Hicks down to the 30. Bring up another big 3rd down. The Colts by 4 with just under 11 minutes left to play.
Now this is an interesting down here. You know, it's a little long to run. You know, in short yardage, when you're about 2 yards, that's a little long, and it's not a bad play pass where you fake the run and throw the ball.
That's Mitchell deep. Centers is the other back. Johnson.
Yep, it was a little far, and they tried to run it. Yeah, that surprised me that they didn't go play pass there, because you say it's only a couple of yards, but it's when it's 3rd and a couple or goal line in a couple, that becomes a long yardage situation.
Hicks stopped short of the 1st down. Brett Conway comes on.
Maybe they missed Stephen Davis on that play, because
maybe so.
In all due respect to Skip Hicks, he really didn't fire that thing in there, but there wasn't a lot in there to fire in either.
Conway from 49 yards out. Blocked and fielded in the air by Belter. By Jeff Burris. Sorry, not Belter. And now it's time to applaud in the other booth. 17-13 remains the score.
Here's Jason Belter right here, and you're going to see him come in, make a jump, and then come in and make the block right there. See him come in now right there. Now he makes the jump. Now watch 29. Right there, extend and block it with his left hand. And of course, Burris brings it back, but that kick could have been a little low, huh?
Could have been. When a guy is that far away and doesn't have to leap any higher than that, it's usually a little low. 1st and 10, Colts.
Well, when you have two guys coming from the outside, you always have to make sure the inside of the two is blocked.
Here's Manning looking for someone and finding James, who stays in bounds, and the Colts pick up a 1st down.
The other thing, you watch Peyton Manning do this, and you say, geez, he's good. You know, I mean, he really throws well in the run and all that. But when you watch him practice, he practices this all the time. I mean, he doesn't just stand there and throw the ball. I mean, he'll run like this. He has scramble drill. He has all those things, and that just doesn't happen. That's happened because he's been working on that all of his life.
1st down. James. Near to another Colt 1st down. Stopped by Shade.
Well,
but not before he got 9.
I was just going to say the thing that we were talking about on the field before the game is happening, and Edgerrin James was saying how tough it is earlier in the game to get running, and I think all running is tough earlier in the game. And then if you get ahead, then running, the longer you go, for some reason the defense wears down, they get a half a step slower, and running will always come easier in the 4th quarter than it is in the 1st quarter.
James is deep. I heard somebody say, coming this way, coming this way.
They better do something about it, then.
James keeps his balance, and down the sideline he dances.
But I mean, it's easy for us up here and say, you know, running is easier. For Edgerrin James, it's still tough, but it is easier. I mean, it is easier for him. That, you know, stuff that wasn't there, stuff where they were getting in the backfield, stuff where they were making the tackles in the 1st and 2nd quarter. They aren't doing that now. Look at this. In the 1st, 7 rushes, 5 yards. 2nd, 3 rushes, 14. 3rd, 6 rushes, 31. And in the 4th quarter, now he's getting it going.
Getting stronger. Manning gives it to him again. And he's near the 10. He's got those good feet, and he's got that forward lean that the great runners have.
You know, we talk about the triplets and, you know, having the quarterback and the receiver and the running back. And you use your receiver and quarterback to get big chunks of yardage. You use your receiver and quarterback when you need big plays, when you need quick scores. Then once you get the lead, then you need that running back to run time off the clock, get 1st down, time of possession, and chew up yardage.
James is the deep back. Manning is the quarterback. Wilkins, Harrison, beg your pardon. Wilkins came over to assist, but Harrison made the reception.
Yep, on that cross, he was looking out there. He was looking out there to the left, and he was trying to throw it to Edgerrin James. This is what he was trying to do. Watch him look left. He's trying. There's nothing there. Now he waits, and he comes back, and he drills this thing into Harrison. Yeah, he throws it. He throws it exactly where the guy is going and away from the defender. Now watch him look. Looks left, there's nothing there. Boom, comes back, finds Marvin Harrison. Then when he sees Harrison, he drills it perfectly.
Looks like he's throwing downhill, doesn't it? James. Touchdown. 2nd effort.
With the blocked field goal.
Yep.
And that took the momentum away from the Redskins, and then this drive was a heavy, heavy dose of Edgerrin James. What a runner he is. I mean, he's not only, I mean, he's the whole package.
Yeah.
I mean, he's fast, he's quick, he's strong, all those things.
Vanderjagt hits the extra point. And the Colts now lead at 24-13. 24-13, Indianapolis over Washington. Tight, high, short kick. That's going to be James Thrash. Remember what he did in Detroit.
You know, a great running back like Edgerrin James and all of them, you know, they do a lot of things, but one thing they all have in common as we watch here is they always keep their feet moving. Just watch his feet.
5:49 left. Pat Summerall, John Madden at the Dome in Indianapolis. 24-13. Redskin ball. They got to make something happen in a hurry. Davis is out with an ankle problem. This is Brian Mitchell, and Mitchell streaks up to midfield and into Colt territory quickly.
You know, one thing that the Colt defense can't do here is get in a passive mood. You know, sometimes you get that score that puts you 2 scores ahead, then you start playing a prevent defense, and then you start playing a little soft. The Colts can't do that here.
Mitchell again breaks out of the pack, and Mitchell. This is Hicks, I believe.
The Colts are doing this here. I just say they can't play soft, and they're starting to play soft because you can play off a little, but you still have to be crisp. You still have to play hard. You still have to tackle well.
Redskins on the move in a hurry, and here's Johnson looking, and incomplete. Intended for Albert Connell, slipped through his hand.
Now that was a good throw. Connell has to catch that ball. I mean, the wide receivers haven't been a big part of today for the Redskins, but now when you need 2 scores, this is what we were talking about earlier. Now they have to be a bigger part.
2nd and 10.
Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator of the Colts. You know, again, you want him to play loose. You don't want to give him a big quick strike, but you got to keep everything in front of you and tackle.
Intended for Fryer, incomplete, and knocked down by Tony Blevins. They call him Gumby.
But I think he's the skinniest player that I've ever seen. You know, in the NFL, you look around and you think NFL players, you know, big old strong guys, and then you look at Tony Blevins and you say, you know, where's the rest of them?
He looks like he's been sick for a long time.
But that was a heck of a play he made there. You know, those defenders in these situations always have to worry about pass interference. But he was able to get that hand out there and not make contact.
On 3rd down, they give on a draw play to Brian Mitchell. I don't know about that play call. I mean, that's what I'm thinking.
That's kind of a give-up type thing. You know, especially when you're 3rd and 10.
That's Mark Thomas, who was limping after the play. 4th down, big down Redskins, big down Colts.
And that's what the Redskins could have been thinking in that 3rd and long is they're going to go for it on 4th down, so we're thinking in terms of 2 downs.
4th and 4. Out to Mitchell, and he didn't get the 1st down. Out there to hit him was Jeff Burris and knocked him backwards.
That was a great tackle by Jeff Burris. We were talking about how Mitchell and how, you know, you take that veteran, he knows that he has to get the 1st down. You get that big 4th down, and he didn't do it. And part of it was Mitchell not getting deep enough, and the other part of it was Jeff Burris. But they are marking that ball. This is closer than you think. I mean, Mitchell got pretty close to it. See, he turns and puts his head down, and Burris doesn't let him get any more progress. But that ball is awfully close. It's a lot closer than it looked.
He didn't get it.
No, but the official ones are over on this side. That's why they're holding it. That one on that side of the field is not official, but you're right, that's not even close. But it was closer than I thought it was. That was about Jeff Burris. I mean,
heck of a play.
Sometimes, you know, quarterbacks make plays, running backs make plays. You get 4th down. Mitchell gets the ball. Jeff Burris cannot let him get a 1st down. Watch what he does here. I mean, he comes up, and right there, he stops him right there. Mitchell doesn't take one more step forward after contact.
So the Colts take over. 3:52 left.
Blevins is there too. He made a big play on the second down play.
Redskins need a turnover. Harrison went in motion. James gets the carry. They're going to try to rip that ball loose.
You know, you're talking to Peyton Manning and how he works and setting that rollout, how many times he's done that and stuff. And he said he heard a quote a long time ago. In fact, it was Chuck Noll, the Pittsburgh Steelers coach. He says, "Pressure is something you feel when you don't know what the heck's going on." And he said he remembered that. You know, and they say, okay, pressure, pressure going to Tennessee, pressure being a rookie quarterback, pressure being an NFL quarterback. He said, if you prepare, you know what's going on, and you don't have that pressure. You don't have that feeling.
There is no pressure.
And there's a lot of truth in that.
It sure is.
Preparation will knock the heck out of pressure.
Here's James, and he breaks the tackle and gets past the 30.
Archie's had enough. Archie, the dad says enough of that sitting down. I gotta get halfway up at least. The kid's doing okay, huh?
Yeah, kid's doing fine. Timeout situation. Washington 1 left. The Colts have all 3 of theirs. They're going to reset the clock to 2:57.
There's Burris, who made that great 4th down tackle. Redskins are going to have to think about their position. I mean, they have a game lead in their division. They played a lousy game 2 weeks ago in Detroit. Played better against Arizona. But Arizona's not a real good team. They run into a real good team today. They played hard, but they can still be ahead if the Giants lose and the Cowboys lose. Now, if the Giants are losing.
Giants are losing.
If the Cowboys lose, then they would still be a game ahead. If the Cowboys win, they'd be tied.
Manning moving people around. 3rd and short. He's going to throw it. And it does. And slides through the hands of the intended receiver, Marvin Harrison. And they have to punt.
Now, more important is the Indianapolis Colts. If they win this game today, they clinch their division
and a bye,
and they get a bye in the first round. So that's one of the first goals that Jim Mora has. You want to win your division, and then you want to get a bye. Then you'd like to get home field throughout. Now, they're 1 game behind in home field throughout. If they win and Jacksonville wins, they're a game behind at Jacksonville.
Deep for the Redskins. Kick is out of there. That's Brian Mitchell who fields it and goes down at about the 34. 24-13, Indianapolis leading.
Yeah, the thing is, you think the Redskins, I mean, they'll probably make the playoffs, but they really, aren't a playoff team. I mean, I think the Colts are for real, but I think the Redskins are on track to be a real good team. Because if you remember that choice when they gave their whole draft, or they got the whole draft to New Orleans Saints last year. They also got the Saints' 1st-round pick. Then they also have Carolina's 1st-round pick.
And their own.
Right, and their own. So the Redskins are going to have 3 first-round picks.
Johnson. Stephen Alexander was hit by Jason Belser.
Jason Belser was the guy that blocked that field goal that really helped turn this game around. And he's going to hit Stephen Alexander and really turn him around, too. Holy moly.
Turned him in the other direction pretty quickly.
Well, he had to stop and kind of look back for the ball. Alexander did. And when he did, Jason Belser was right there underneath his shoulder pad.
Came to a hasty halt. Here comes the blitz on Johnson. He gets rid of it. Incomplete. In the direction of Albert Connell.
One thing I'll say about this Colt defense is they started to look like they were going to go a little passive, and then they said, to heck with that passive stuff. That was Jeff Burris. Burris came on the blitz that time, He came on Brad Johnson's backside, and Johnson just gets rid of it. Here's Burris right here. See that? He got him zeroed in. Brad Johnson looked and saw Burris coming.
One thing about the Colts defense, they don't have a dominant player really outside of Bratsky, but they give you a lot of different looks, and that's how they bring the pressure. Johnson buys some time, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Westbrook.
I don't know that Westbrook has caught any pass. I guess he caught one pass all day. That's the thing that they've kind of gotten away from their wide receivers, and they did that in the Detroit game too.
Well, wide receivers getting the ball out to them requires time, and he hadn't had a heck of a lot of time.
Yeah, but if you're going to stretch the defense, I mean, it's like the Colts. I mean, they came out and they stretched that Redskin defense by throwing deep in the whole first half to Marvin Harrison. Westbrook has caught one, and Connell's caught two.
Here's Johnson on 4th down. Up the middle, and the pass is caught by Albert Connell. And that'll quiet the crowd for a moment.
And Albert Connell has 3 now.
1st down, Redskins. Johnson trying to hurry things up.
You see, again in the zone, you just come find a hole in there and let Johnson throw it in there.
Johnson. Mitchell. To the 30. And we'll get the 2-minute warning. (24-13), a minute 59 left in the game. Washington 1 timeout left. And the Redskins are down by 11 points.
You know, the Redskins have a play here that I think is important. I mean, you could kick a field goal, and then you got to get a touchdown and go for 2. So they need 11 points, and that could be a combination of 8 and 3.
Johnson has a man open. It's Connell. Why he didn't get out of bounds, I'm not sure.
Remember a couple of weeks ago, Connell caught one on that same sideline and didn't get out of bounds just before halftime. But again, the Redskins have to get a touchdown here, then go for 2.
And the handoff is to Mitchell, and he got the touchdown. Now they got to go for 2.
And now they have to go for 2. You see, and then a field goal will tie it. I mean, they not only have to go for 2, they have to get to 2. Because if they can get to 2 here, they can tie with a field goal. If they don't get to 2 here, then they're going to need another touchdown.
That pretty well tells you the picture. They got to go for 2, and they got to be successful in order to tie with a field goal. Johnson gets up under the center.
3 wide receivers.
Looking at Mitchell. The wide receiver. Westbrook makes the catch in the end zone. They get the 2. They got the touchdown. Then they got the 2. 24-20. Well, you can tell by the lineup, they're trying an onside kick. You've got to do that. Redskins with 1 timeout left. Kick bounces, and the Redskins have it. It worked. Thrash came down with the ball. And the Redskins get the ball in Indianapolis territory.
Hey, this is a great onside kick. Watch all these guys here. They're in a bunch, and you got to let the ball go 10 yards, and now you just uncoil. And the ball just jumped perfectly that last shot.
Perfect. So Washington takes over.
And now Washington, as you said, they have...
Wait a second.
No time runs off the clock. 1st down.
Washington has the ball here. Now they have 1 timeout left. And again, we talked about how they can tie it. They can tie it with a field goal. But then, of course, the other thing, they have plenty of time with 1 minute, 24 seconds, and 1 timeout left. They have plenty of time to score a touchdown and win the game.
Sure they do. They got the 2. They got the touchdown they needed. The 2 points they needed. They got the ball they needed.
And now the first thing they have to do now is they have to get in position to kick the field goal.
Right.
Then you take your shot at the touchdown. I think it's a 2-part thing.
That's their first charge timeout. 30-second timeout.
This is a Colt timeout. Now, I didn't hear. Did you hear what they said when they moved the ball back from where Thrash recovered the onside kick?
No, I didn't hear what they said.
I heard them say something by rule.
I know that he put time back, that no time went off the clock. I think they tried to advance it, so they put it back where it was.
Where he touched it.
Yeah, right. And no time. There was no time off the clock. But again, I think there's 2 things that you have to do here if you're the Redskins. Is one, get in position to kick the field goal, and then go for the touchdown.
1st and 10 at their own 46. Johnson back to throw. Here comes the blitz. And down he goes. Trey Johnson made the recovery.
That was Jeff Burris again on the blitz. They were lucky that Trey Johnson was there. Sometimes you wonder why Trey Johnson was there. Here comes Burris, number 20. Cornelius Bennett was the first guy there. He hit him with the left arm and knocked the ball out of there.
2nd and 16. Here's Johnson dumping it out to Mitchell, and Mitchell fighting for yardage is not going to get much. Gets back to the original line of scrimmage, uses up a lot of clock, and the clock is still running.
Brad Johnson was taking time out. The referee was looking the other way, and Brad Johnson ran right into him. Ed Hockley was looking towards us. What did you say? Get out of there?
Timeout, Washington. That's their 3rd and final timeout. It's a 30-second timeout.
The referee, Ed Hockley, wasn't looking at Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson was trying to call timeout. So he had to chase him down, and in doing so, he runs right into him. Watch this. Here he comes. Here's Hockley. See, he's looking this way. Here comes Brad Johnson. Brad Johnson just shoves him. Says timeout. That's one way to get it. The referee should be looking, though, at the quarterback, or the quarterback even before the play should say, you know, if I have to, I'm going to call timeout on this play. Now, the Redskins, it's 3rd and 9 here, but they're thinking in terms of 2 downs. Now, this is one that they don't have to get a first down on this play. They don't have any timeouts left. At 42 seconds, they have time to spike it or get it out of bounds.
First thing they got to think about is the first down. Yeah, 3rd and 9. Johnson retreats. Here comes the pressure. He steps under it. The pass is batted away. Intended for Blevins. Blevins batted it away just at the last second.
That was another great play by Tony Blevins. You know, he's just a nickel corner. I mean, he comes in and plays corner on nickel situations, but he has really made some good plays this second half. Really? I mean, he gets a jump, and again, you can't touch that guy or it's pass interference. And if you're going to take that undercut and cut off that ball, you got to get your hands on the ball and not on him. And Tony Blevins has done that 3 times.
37 seconds left. Johnson retreats, and here comes the blitz. And it's incomplete, overthrown, out of bounds, everything. The Colts take over. Today's game is being produced by Bob Stinner, directed by Sandy Grossman. Associate Directors Mike Roig, Broadcast Associates Charles McDonald and Mark Mata. Technical producer Bob Muller. Pre-game show produced by Scott Ackerson, directed by Bob Levy. Senior producer is Bill Brown. The executive producer of Fox Sports are Ed Gorin and David Hill. Couple of big plays by Blevins down the stretch. Everybody rose to the occasion.
And the Indianapolis Colts clinched the Eastern Division of the AFC and a bye in the first round of the playoffs.
And then they'll host it.
What a job Jim Moore has done.
Hasn't he, though?
What a job his players have done, his coaching staff, this organization.
They have turned it around.
Cornelius Bennett says this is what it's all about. This is why you play.
From last to first. Led by this guy.
I think blessed by this guy. His dad.
His father.
What a proud mom and dad.
24-21 Indianapolis over Washington.
Hey, this is a fun place and a fun team.
This is Pat Summerall for John Madden and DJ Johnson saying so long from Indianapolis, where once again the final score, the Colts 24, the Redskins 21. Be sure to stay tuned to Fox Sports for our post-game show with JB, Terry, Howie, and Chris right after these messages. For more information on today's game and the latest NFL news, log on to foxsports.com.